Thank you. Okay.
Thanks. I think in the interest of the time, we'll move ahead with the presentation. Hemantini, you can look at the questions in the chat and reply them. Yeah. I'll now invite Ranjita to kindly start her presentation on pedestrian LOS. Mohan, Hema, you can switch off your videos. Ranjita, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
is my screen visible?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon all. I am Ranjita Mohan. I am from Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Kottayam. I am here to present pedestrian level of service analysis, which was done as a part of Church Street First impact assessment of pedestrianizing an urban street in terms of quality of life. So these are the outline of the study. First, I will be giving a brief introduction about what is the study is for. Second, I will be giving a detailed methodology, then the data collection adopted here, the detailed data analysis followed by summary and conclusion. Introduction. Good pedestrian facilities will make the neighborhood safe and stimulating. So the design and development of such facilities will inspire walking as a mode choice for the public. Therefore, the planners and the designers should evaluate the built environment components that will strengthen the walking facilities in order to inspire walking as a mode choice for the people. So one of the methods for measuring the quality of pedestrian environment is the pedestrian level of service. By measuring the pedestrian level of service, the quality of a facility can be assessed and it will also indicate whether there is any need to redesign it. So the basic objective of this study is to understand the pedestrian footfall on the weekends and to assess the pedestrian facility when the street is closed for traffic. Methodology. So the first step is to data collection. Data collection was carried out through videographic survey. The CCTV data is collected from Bengaluru Traffic Police through DULT. 12 hours of CCTV data from morning 10 a.m. to evening 10 p.m. After data collection, the second step in order to measure the pedestrian flow parameters, that is pedestrian speed, density and flow rate, a grid is required. So the grid was selected on the study stretch, which includes both the carriageway and the sidewalk. So the area of the grid was 11 meter by 11 meter. After selecting the grid, the next step is to extract the pedestrian count. Pedestrian count is a quantitative measure of number of pedestrians using a particular facility. So pedestrian count for every weekends of pedestrianization period from November 2020 to February 2021 was extracted manually in the lab. After pedestrian count extraction, next step is to plot the hourly variation of pedestrian count for every weekends of pedestrianization. By plotting the hourly variation, the peak duration of pedestrians was found out. The peak duration is the duration during which more people are observed to visit the street. After determining the peak duration of pedestrian, the next step is to estimate the pedestrian flow parameters, that is pedestrian speed, density and flow rate. So these flow parameters are extracted for the off-peak and peak hour for the day in a month which has the highest pedestrian count. After extracting the flow parameters, the PLOS for each month of pedestrianization was determined by referring to the PLOS for commercial land use, which is given in Indian Highway Capacity Manual 2017. This is the grid that is selected for the study, and this is the grid dimension 11 meter by 11 meter, which includes both the carriageway and the sidewalk. So basically for establishing the PLOS criteria, the flow parameters required are pedestrian flow rate, pedestrian speed and pedestrian density. Pedestrian flow rate is the number of pedestrians passing a particular point per unit time. Pedestrian speed is the average pedestrian walking speed. Pedestrian density is the number of pedestrians per unit area of the walk. So this is the working of IISc PedSense software, which was developed by a research scholar in IISc, Nipun Chaubey. And through this IISc PedSense software, the pedestrian speed and density was extracted. And this is the PLOS for footpath considering commercial land use, which is given in Indian Highway Capacity Manual. So basically for defining the PLOS, A to F categories are there. Pedestrian level of service A, which means that the pedestrians can easily select their own walking speed and there will not be any conflict between the pedestrians. While coming to pedestrian level of service F, which means that there will be frequent and unavoidable contact with other pedestrians, and also forward movement is only possible by shuffling and the speed of the pedestrians will be too low. So this is the image of the stretch that is considered for taking the pedestrian count. So whoever crosses this particular line is taken into consideration for pedestrian count. Then coming into detail regarding the data analysis, firstly, I'll be explaining the change in pedestrian footfall over the weekends of pedestrianization. Secondly, the change in footfall over the months is discussed. So this is the analysis of pedestrian footfall for November 2020. So these graphs are the hourly variation graphs for the weekends of November 2020. So by looking at the graph, it can be observed that the pedestrian count is increasing gradually and it goes on increasing and reaches a peak period and then starts decreasing. So this is the peak duration that was identified from evening 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And from the graphs, it can be observed that almost 40 to 50% of pedestrians are observed to visit the street during this peak duration. And in November, the pedestrian count has crossed more than 1,000 per hour. This is the average hourly pedestrian count per day for weekends of November 2020. And here there is a dip in the pedestrian count for the second weekend of November. The reason is that due to the Diwali festival time, less number of pedestrians were observed on the street, and towards the last weekend of November, more pedestrians were observed. This graph shows the average pedestrian count per peak hour during that peak period, that 5 to 9 p.m. within 1 hour, how much pedestrians are observed on the street. So in total, 72,209 pedestrians are observed for the weekends of November, and more number of pedestrians are observed to visit the street during Sundays than Saturdays. Then second is the analysis of pedestrian footfall for December 2020. Here also the graph is like goes on increasing, reaches a peak duration and then starts decreasing. And in December, the pedestrian count has crossed more than 2,000 per hour, like more than 1,000 pedestrians has increased as compared to November. And here also about 40 to 50% of pedestrians are observed visiting the street during this peak duration. This is the average hourly pedestrian count per day for the weekends of December 2020. And towards the last weekend of December, it is observed that the pedestrian count per hour is more. The reason is that a lot of Christmas events as well as Namma Tribal Sante event, which is organized by DULT, was one of the major reasons for attraction. And this is the average pedestrian count per peak hour for weekends of December. Almost 1,000 to 2,500 pedestrians are observed during the peak hour of the peak duration. In total, 82,215 pedestrians are observed for the weekends of December 2020. Then third is the pedestrian footfall analysis for January 2021. In January, the pedestrian count has crossed more than 3,000 per hour. And here also the pedestrians visiting the street is almost 40 to 50% during the peak duration. These are also showing the hourly variations for the different weekends of January. So in total, 1,34,706 pedestrians are observed for the weekends of January 2021. This plot is the average hourly pedestrian count per day for the weekends of January 2021, and almost 1,900 pedestrians are observed towards the last weekend of January. And over the months, it can be inferred that compared to November and December, the more pedestrian count is observed on January. The last is the analysis of pedestrian footfall for February 2021. In February, the pedestrian count has crossed 4,000 per hour for different weekends of February. But in one day on February 14th, during one period, the pedestrian count has actually crossed 6,000 per hour. And in February, all the weekends, during the peak duration, more than 50% of the pedestrians are observed during the peak duration. So from the average hourly pedestrian count for the weekends of February, it can be observed that this should be actually increasing, but there is a dip observed here. The reason is that due to the lack of any events that is happening on the street. In total, 1,35,540 pedestrians are observed to have visited the Church Street during weekends of February 2021. So this plot is showing the average daily pedestrian footfall from November 2020 to February 2021. By observing the graph, it can be inferred that the pedestrian count has increased by 91.9% from November to February, and in all weekends the pedestrian count is more than 11,000, and it is increasing gradually over the months, which indicates that people are very happy about the initiative and they want to experience such kind of pedestrianized streets in future. So this is the average peak duration pedestrian footfall for November to February. Here also it can be observed that during the peak duration, for that peak hour, the pedestrian count has increased by 117% from November to February. So this is the CCTV footage during pedestrianization in order to show the difference in pedestrian footfall during the off-peak hour and the peak hour. So this is the off-peak hour, which will be usually between morning 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the peak hour will be between the peak duration, that is 5 to 9 p.m. So this is the scenario that is happening on the street during pedestrianization. Next is the determination of pedestrian level of service for the street. So the pedestrian level of service for the street has been determined for all 4 months of pedestrianization, and the flow parameters required for estimating the pedestrian level of service has been extracted for off-peak and peak hour for the day in a month which has the highest pedestrian count. So for November, on November 28th, the highest pedestrian count was observed. So on November, the off-peak hour was 11 to 12 p.m. and peak hour was 6 to 7 p.m. So the average speed value for the off-peak and peak hour, also the density values has been found out. The corresponding flow rate has been found by the product of speed and density. Then the level of service was then defined by referring to Indo-HCM, and level of service A was observed for November 2020, which indicates that people can easily or they are free to select their own walking speed and there will not be any conflict with the other pedestrians. In December also, the scenario is same. Service A was observed for both off-peak and peak hour, which means that there will not be any conflict between the pedestrians and they can walk freely. But while coming to January, for the off-peak hour, level of service A was observed, but for the peak hour, level of service B was observed. The reason is that over the months, the pedestrian count or pedestrian footfall in the street is increasing. So level of service B indicates that people can freely select their walking speed, but then also they will become aware of the other pedestrians in the street, and also there is chance for minor conflicts. So in February, level of service A was observed for the off-peak hour, but level of service E was observed for the peak hour. The reason is that while data extraction for that particular hour, a musical event was happening on that study stretch, as a result of which too many stagnant pedestrians was there, which resulted in high density, as a result of which level of service E was observed, which indicates that there will be too many conflicts between the pedestrians and the speed of the pedestrians was too low. So summary is that in November, totally 72,209 pedestrians are observed. In December, 82,215 pedestrians are observed. In January, 1,34,706 pedestrians are observed. And in February, 1,35,540 pedestrians are observed. So over the months, it is observed that the pedestrian count is increasing more than 1,000 increasing is happening over the months. And it has crossed maximum of 6,000 per hour in February, which indicates that people are accepting the initiative and they want to experience such kind of pedestrianized streets in future, and also it shows a positive attitude towards such kind of initiative. So the peak duration of the pedestrian was identified from 5 to 9 p.m. And one for that is that a lot of musical events, open mic, art exhibition, singing, such kind of activities will be happening on the street mostly during the evening time, and that is also a reason for attracting more people to come and visit the street. So conclusion. So the main objective of the study was to identify what is the pedestrian footfall during the weekends when the street is closed for traffic has been assessed. Also, the pedestrian level of service for the 4 months of pedestrianization has been assessed. And towards the last month of implementation, more people are becoming aware of the initiative that made them very happy to spend their time in the street during the weekends. Thank you. Sir?
Sir, you have to unmute. We couldn't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah, thanks, Ranjita, for nicely summarizing the study on pedestrian footfalls and how level of service was varying, and it could clearly show how pedestrianization definitely, helps improve the pedestrian level of service. Next, we have the presentation on boarding and alighting of public transport stations. I invite Hemantini to share the screen.
Yes.
We will then have questions on both these presentations after this one.
So my screen is visible, sir?
Yeah, put it on slideshow. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. And so now I will discuss about the boarding and alighting study which we have conducted at public transit station as a part of quantitative studies with respect to Church Street first project. So I will just take you through the methodology and then the data analysis that was carried out with respect to a metro station that is situated near Church Street, and as well as comparison with how the how metro ridership varied among during the pedestrianized months, and as well as the data analysis for the data collected in the nearby bus stops to Church Street. Yeah. So coming to first section, that is on metro station. As discussed earlier, the MG Road metro station has one of the entry or exit exactly on the Church Street, and Bangalore has purple and green metro line, and MG Road metro station is situated in the purple line, which runs between Mysore Road and Baipanali. And the next, the adjacent metro stations are Kaban Park stations at Trinity Junction. So we collected month-wise total metro uses from November 2019 till February 2021. Apart from that, we also obtained hourly variation of metro uses during the pedestrianized months. After that, we tried to assess the hourly variation for boarding and alighting for weekends of every month, and then we try to compare between the variation in metro uses during pedestrian months and also between weekdays and weekends, followed by discussion. So coming to hourly variation, so this is an example which we are showing for November month. As you can see, 7th and 8th is the first weekend of pedestrianization. The number of alighters are concentrated towards the morning hours from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and the boarders are concentrated towards the evening hours from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it is also observed that the number of people using metro between 7th and 8th, it is observed that the number of people using metro is higher on Saturdays compared to Sundays. And also when coming to second week of pedestrianization, the total number of metro users were considerably less, which is because this is a Diwali weekend. So even as discussed in the previous presentation, the number of people visited Church Street is also less during second week of pedestrianization. And then moving on, during third and fourth, during third and the subsequent pedestrianization weekends, we can see the number of alighters is for Saturdays, the number of alighters is concentrated towards the morning hours, but for number of boarders is concentrated for both Saturdays and Sundays. The number of boarders concentrated towards the evening time, which is from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., which is also in line with the peak duration, which was explained in the previous presentation. Also, apart from that, the other observation which we found is on Sundays, the number of people alighting is almost more than 100, starting from 10 a.m. and it extended till 8 p.m. So,
enjoy ಮಾಡಾಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ course.
Yeah. Please mute yourself.
Yeah. Similarly, we have observed this similar trend for other weekends of pedestrianization as well. And then, now I will explain about the variation in total metro uses for weekends of pedestrianization in November 2020. So the number of metro users are high in Saturday compared to Sundays. It is also to be noted that on Saturdays, many of the businesses that are running in Church Street is working, whereas on Sundays only restaurants and few entertainment related businesses only were working, like bookshops, restaurants, and there is a fun activity place called Amoeba. So these were running on Sundays as well. And it is also found that compared to first weekend of pedestrianization to the last weekend of pedestrianization of November, there is a 4% increase in the total metro users. Coming to comparison between weekdays and weekends, in November month, we have observed that the number of people using metro on weekend is less compared to weekdays. However, when compared among the weekends, Saturday, the number of metro users on Saturdays is high compared to Sunday. And it is also to be noted that 21% of the total metro uses, 21% 21% of the total metro uses of in November month attributes to weekend uses. And then coming to comparing the metro users on in December month, we can see like a similar trend is observed. Saturdays and when compared between Saturdays and Sundays, the number of metro users are high on Saturday compared to Sunday, and nearly 71% increase in metro users is observed between first weekend of December to the third weekend of December. Moving on, coming to December, the comparison between weekdays and weekends on 19th December, which is third weekend of pedestrianization in December, the total number of metro users is high compared to other weekdays itself. But however, the number of metro users is less on Sundays compared to Saturdays. December month also, the total metro users on weekends attribute to 21% of the entire month metro users. And then coming to January month, similar trend is observed. So similar trend is observed. The number of metro users on Saturday is high compared to Sunday, and when compared between weekend of January to the last weekend of January, there is nearly 45% increase in the metro users. Then coming to comparison between weekdays and weekends, we can see that the number of initially in November month, the number of metro users even on Saturdays was less when compared to weekdays. But during January, we can see like the number of metro users on Saturday is on par with the weekdays, which also highlights that apart from regular metro users who commutes using metro or to reach Church Street. On top of that, there are a few additional metro users on weekends, which shows that the metro station that is situated on the Church Street is attracting people as well. So when compared between the weekends, we can see like in the first weekend of February, in Saturdays, compared between Saturdays from first weekend to third weekend, there is almost 3% increase in the metro users in February month. So when compared between weekends and weekdays, we can almost see like the number of metro users on Saturdays are high compared to weekdays itself. And it is also to be noted that the total number of weekend metro users attribute to 23% of the monthly metro users. So when coming to comparison between the months, so in November 2020, the total MG Road station metro users was observed to be 1 lakh, but it has increased by 50%, almost 50% to December, and then by 23% from December to January, and from January to February, we have observed 30% increase in the metro users, total metro users. And it is also to be noted from the first month of pedestrianization from November to February, there is nearly 135% increase in the total metro users. Followed by that, now we just try to understand what is the contribution of the weekend metro users to the total metro users in a month. We can see, like as I explained earlier, in November, nearly 21% of out of 1 lakh, nearly 22.5 thousand metro users use metro during weekends, and in December month, 21% of the weekend use. Out of total metro users, weekend attributes to 21%, and in January, weekend attributes to 30%, and in February, weekend attributes to 23% out of total metro users, which is 2.5 lakhs. And then coming to comparison between the weekends, we can see in November, from November to December, the number of metro users in weekends, that is during pedestrianized weekends, has increased by almost 50%, and from December to January, it is increased by 66%, and from January to February, it is increased by 5%. And in total, we have observed from November to February, during weekends of pedestrianization, the total number of metro users have increased nearly 162%. And then we also try to assess the variation with respect to November with respect to November 2019 till February 2021. So in pre-COVID situation, the total number of metro users, MG Road metro station users are almost nearly 9.8 lakhs. But during COVID situation, the metro was not running for a few months. But after COVID unlock, the metro started functioning from September, and then October, with certain limitations. But then we can also see that the number of metro users had increased drastically from October, increased almost by 30% from October to November, even with the restrictions. And also we see that there is nearly 6 times increase in the metro users from September 2020 to February 2021. So coming to summary and conclusions, the number of alighters are observed or more during morning, more number of alighting passengers are found, and during evening the number of boarders is observed. And then over the period, the number of alighters actually remain same throughout the period, starting from 11 a.m. till evening. Compared to number of people boarding towards concentrated towards the evening from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Apart from that, the number of metro users on Saturdays are higher compared to Sundays. And also there is an increase of 30% in metro users from November 2020, from October 2020 to November 2020. On top of that, during pedestrianized weekends, the number of metro users has increased by 162% from November to February 2021. So now I will explain about the boarding alighting studies that conducted at 4 bus stops that were identified, which is Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop, Bowring Institute bus stop, Mayo Hall bus stop, and Brigade Road bus stop. These bus stops are in the walkable distance from either end of the Church Street, and the bus stop with highest distance is Mayo Hall, which is about 590 meters from Brigade Road junction, Brigade Road entrance of the Church Street. So we collected number of boarding and alighting passengers manually at all these bus stops during the during pedestrianized weekends. And for few days we also conduct in the month of December and January, we also conducted the study on weekdays as well. And so it is observed that initially in November last week, we conducted the study from 5 to 6 p.m. at all the four bus stops. We can see like Mayo Hall and Brigade Road bus stops are largely used by the people, and Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stops are found to be least attractive, and then Bowring Institute was used to some extent. So when we try to compare among the total number of boarders and alighters during the designated time, the more number of people are observed to use Mayo Hall bus stop, followed by Brigade Road bus stop, Bowring Institute, and the Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop. And then coming to, we also conducted towards the last week of December, we tried to collect data during 5 to 6 p.m. For a few weekdays and as well as weekends, as well as the connecting weekends. And it is observed that during weekdays, the number of people using public transit is high compared to the weekends. And also similarly, almost during weekends, almost no people are observed to use Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop, although it is it is almost close to 300 meters. And then when compared between the total counts, we can see like Mayo Hall and Brigade Road bus stops are mostly used by people, and then followed by Bowring Institute and the Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop. And then we also collected data in January, and similar trend is observed. And then during the last week of January, we again try to collect the data for 5 to 7 p.m. for weekdays and weekends. But here, once again, Chinnaswamy Stadium is not attracted. Any people are not observed to use Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop during weekends. Although during 4th weekend of January, some people are observed to use the Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop. During the last weekend, no one was observed to use Chinnaswamy Stadium bus stop. And then it is also observed that compared to November and December, the number of people using Brigade Road bus stop is higher compared to Mayo Hall bus stop when we conducted the survey between 5 to 7 p.m. So when we observe between the total counts, we observed that on contrary to the November and December, we found that number of people using the Brigade Road is high on few weekends and also in weekdays. And Chinnaswamy Stadium is least attracted to the people. We extended the study on February month only on weekends, and similar trend is observed for February month as well. So it is the overall observation. The number of number of boarding passengers are more compared to number of alighting passengers in all the bus stops. Number of people using the bus stops on Saturdays are higher compared to Sunday, and of people using in January and February, the number of people using Brigade Road bus stops and is higher for a few days compared to my whole bus stop. So coming to conclusion, so the one of the main reason for this is like which will be supported in our upcoming presentations. People are not aware of the bus stops existing at a walkable distance from these from Church Street. That is one reason which will be explained in detail in the upcoming presentation. However, from this study, we understood that number of people using the bus stops are high on weekdays compared to weekends, and Mayo Hall, Brigade Road are observed to be the most busiest bus stops compared to other bus stops. Thank you.
Thanks, Hemanthini, for a nice presentation, making us understand how the boarding and alighting at nearest public transport points was impacted due to the pedestrianization initiative. In fact, it's very interesting to see, for example, if we look at the first presentation on pedestrian LOS and footfalls, contrary to a general belief among business communities that, if you go ahead and do a pedestrianization, they would actually lose business. This is generally seen as a common perception, which actually the results and the data shows that the footfalls, consistently increased due to pedestrianization, and people were spending more time and coming to the street in large numbers. I think that's a good sign. Even to showcase how businesses can benefit, and we'll see from the shop owners opinion survey presentation later on how it actually impacted, even in terms of responses from the shop owners, how their businesses and other things were, improved for many of the business types on the street. And of course, from the boarding and lighting presentation, it's clear, especially when you look at metro, and fortunately, the access to the metro station was very good. But it actually shows how such initiatives of pedestrianization can actually impact and improve the ridership on metro services, on the public transport services, if there is good accessibility. And it was very clear from the boarding and lighting data of metro that their ridership really improved and increased substantially during the pedestrianization phase. However, for the nearest bus stop, I think a bit more careful interventions on information of nearest bus stops and accessibility or route guidance, probably improving the frequency of the bus services might also help improve the ridership on bus services as well. There's something that we can take away from this presentation. We can take a couple of questions if there are any from the audience. Please raise your hands. I'll request Ranjita and Hemanthini to be on camera. If there are any questions on these two presentations, you can please raise your hands. By anyone? In fact, I must also say that this result of improved ridership on metro is also a good indication of in terms of TOD, transit-oriented development, a lot that has been talked about and being focused now, that having pedestrianization focus within the TOD zones can actually substantially boost the metro riderships as well. Okay, if there are no questions. Yeah, Vivek, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Hemantini, about the metro alighting and boarding, I had a simple kind of query. Did you check the boarding alighting pre-COVID times? You said after March 2020 there was lockdown. Then again the metro operated. So my question is, how is the difference in ridership with the weekend with Church Street pedestrianization and without Church Street pedestrianization? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vivek, for your question. Yeah, so basically due to some difficulty, we couldn't get hourly variation or day-wise variation for the earlier months. But however, we could compare between weekdays and weekends. Since there is time limitation, I'm not able to show the slide. But the thing is, when we compared among hourly variation for weekdays and weekends, on weekends we can see like from 11 a.m. till evening like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. the number of alighters are more. But on weekdays, when we see the number of alighters during the mid time of the day is very less compared to weekends. But yeah, we did approach BMRCL for the hourly variation and day-wise variation. Due to some uncertainties, we couldn't get for the previous months.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any other questions? Quick one. Otherwise, of course, you can also put your questions in the chat later on as well. Okay.